What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga.
This is my homebrew demo of GTA 5 running on a real PS1. What you're seeing isn't just a modern game with the PS1 filter. There are almost 2 decades of hardware evolution between the PS1 and GTA 5. They belong to completely different eras of gaming. But crushing a character like Franklin down to a few hundred tries is actually the easy part. The real problem is taking a 65GB game and figuring out what to keep and what actually runs on 2MB of RAM. So we started with my favorite character, Trevor. I permanently welded an automatic rifle to his right hand and coded a shooting animation with an aggressive camera zoom. But bullets alone are insufficient for the sheer volume of chaos I had planned, so I gave him a hand grenade. Initially, Trevor refused to actually throw the explosive, opting instead to hold it indefinitely. Once I forcefully negotiated with the physics engine to make him let it go, the grenade dropped harmlessly into the sand and completely refused to detonate. Rendering a true 3D volumetric explosion on the PlayStation 1 is mathematically impossible. The solution is billboarding. A Python script compresses a modern explosion sprite sheet into a tiny texture atlas. The engine then renders a flat 2D polygon that constantly rotates to face the camera, rapidly cycling through the atlas frames to fake a 3D fireball. With destruction working, I needed a way to swap weapons, so I added the iconic GTA 5 weapon picker. You'd think a UI wheel would be simple, but transparency on the PS1 is surprisingly complex. The console doesn't have an alpha channel or a hardware Z buffer. To fake the semi-transparent background of the weapon wheel, you have to use the GPU's additive blending mode and manually sort the UI polygons so they draw strictly after the game world. I added some palm trees, a parasol, and a functioning minimap. The code takes the player's X and Z world coordinates and literally just divides them by 2048 to project them onto a tiny 64 by 40 pixel rectangle in the corner. Now I needed targets. I added the wanted system, making the UI violently flash at level 5, and summoned the Los Santos Police Department. When I finally patched in their mortality, the retro resolution made it impossible to tell if they were actually dead, or simply taking a tactical nap. To clarify their vital status, the engine just draws a flat 2D polygon of a blood pool underneath them, scaling its radius every frame. It creates a highly authentic PS2-era murder simulator with zero performance cost. To test the combat, I threw a grenade. The code physically alters its trajectory mid-air, forcing the explosive to lock onto the nearest officer just to ensure he dies, working exactly as intended. I spawned a second cop with a shotgun, neutralized them both, and tied the chaos to a functional objective system. Finally, I added a drivable police cruiser, but this is where we hit a hard physical limit. The PlayStation 1 has exactly 2MB of system RAM. Loading the beach environment, a drivable car, 2 cops, a weapon wheel, and a dynamic blood animation completely maxes out the memory footprint. Driving any further down the beach will instantly overflow the RAM and crash the console. The only workaround is using the cruiser as a hard transition. Entering the vehicle aggressively purges the beach from memory, streaming in an entirely separate driving map straight from the CD. But storing an endless highway in 2MB of RAM is impossible. The track is generated using a 1024 segment mathematical loop. As the car moves forward, the C code uses modulo math to repeat the track's geometry infinitely, seamlessly shifting between straightaways and curves based purely on the current segment's phase. However, the PS1's draw distance is pitiful. New sections of the road were popping into existence right in front of the bumper. To hide this, I had to steal the classic Silent Hill fog technique. The engine calculates the distance of every polygon and forcibly blends its vertex color towards the exact RGB value of the sky background before it hits the render limit. I then slapped another JPEG of the Los Santos skyline in the background. I spawned enemy cop cars programmed to intercept crash into you, forming the core gameplay loop. Then I populated the road with civilian vehicles. Hitting a civilian instantly blows up your car and kills you. The goal is to aggressively pit maneuver the cops into the civilian traffic, turning the highway into a high-speed explosive meat grinder. When you inevitably mess this up and die, you need to see the iconic GTA 5 wasted screen. If you manage to survive the timer without exploding, you get the mission pass logo. The mini-game was complete, but a demo needs a narrative and our characters needed development. To set the stage, I attempted to steal a 3D map from Pepsi Man. The engine rejected this, vomiting out an unrenderable void, but my incompetence was a blessing in disguise. Instead of just rendering a real environment, I could just use flat images. This is a classic PS1 technique used in Resident Evil. You display a highly detailed 2D background and dynamically scale the 3D models based on their Y-axis position. It saves massive processing power while faking perfect perspective. To solve this, I programmed a transparent 3D grid floor. By temporarily rendering this grid, I could perfectly align the camera to match the exact angle of the 2D drawing. Once the math lined up, I simply turned the grid invisible. I hard-coded their coordinates and wrote a function to programmatically interpolate their movement. The C code takes the difference between the starting and ending positions and divides it by the total duration to calculate the exact per frame speed. I rendered 3 more backgrounds for the camera cuts and spent hours manually writing down the exact numerical frame every single word was spoken, hard-coding them into a loop. But the final result was a masterpiece.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee-yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with, nigga.
What?
The prologue of GTA 5 takes place in the miserable wasteland of North Yankton. So naturally, I constructed a snowy landscape, draped Trevor in a winter coat, and handed him a high-powered sniper rifle. But in order to make this work, I needed a functional sniper scope. To fake a first-person scope on the PS1, the engine simply teleports the camera coordinates directly to Trevor's eye level and draws a black 2D reticle overlay on the screen. However, because the camera is now physically sitting inside Trevor's skull, his own geometry could clip into view. To fix this, the C code explicitly tells the GPU to stop drawing the player's model entirely whenever the scope is active. Well, with that, I could accurately snipe the cops. Initially, they just fell over normally when shot. But this is a tribute to my favorite eras of GTA, and a sniper headshot needs to have catastrophic anatomical consequences. The solution was to dynamically manipulate the existing geometry. When a cop takes his headshot, the engine toggles a boolean flag, and during the rendering loop, the code checks the exact Y coordinates of every single triangle on the cop's mesh. If a triangle's height is above 720 on the Y-axis, which is the precise elevation of their neck, the engine executes a simple continue statement and skips drawing it. It literally decapitates the 3D model in real time with a single line of math. And it works great. With the headshot system fully operational, I push through the gate. This triggers a scripted sequence where a police cruiser violently plows through another car and instantly deploys 2 more officers. I finally reached the getaway vehicle. Stealing it immediately transitions the game into another escape sequence, which honestly is just the exact same repeated highway algorithm we used during the beach escape. Well, GTA is also about little minigames, so I built a rudimentary 3-hole golf course. To give you an idea of where the ball is going, I implemented a yellow trajectory line and a power meter. Because we're operating without a modern UI framework, these elements have to be built from scratch. The power meter is constructed using raw 2D tile primitives injected directly into the GPU's ordering table. For the yellow trajectory, the engine calculates the physics arc and uses the PS1's hardware line F2 primitive to draw a -2D line projected into the 3D space. The vehicle only knows 2 moves, a chip and a putt. However, because the map is just a floating chunk of geometry, the edge is cut off into a solid blue void. To fix this, I used the same trick from the cutscene, placing a beautiful pre-rendered 2D image into the background. But Golf introduces a new problem. When you hit the ball, the camera has to physically follow it. A static 2D background instantly breaks the illusion the second the camera pans. The solution was incredibly hacky, but highly efficient. The C code mathematically shifts the X and Y coordinates of the flat background image to perfectly match the final frame of the camera's animation. The engine is literally just violently sliding a massive image across the screen to fake a 3D camera pan. So the final product kinda resembles classic PS1 titles like Actua Golf, just substantially worse. For the grand finale, I decided to recreate Trevor's iconic tripping cutscene. Using the exact same 4 background technique we built earlier, I set up the scene. However, importing Trevor's animations caused the retro skeleton to break, turning him into a necromorph straight out of Dead Space. Once I unmangled his bones, I had to implement the actual tripping sequence. This is surprisingly complex when you're working with flat 2D backgrounds. Without an actual 3D physics engine or real collision geometry for his foot to catch on, there's no physical way to calculate a trip. To fake it, I had to manually edit the animation frames and meticulously hard-code the X and Y coordinate offsets so that his falling animation precisely intersected with the painted 2D fence on the background image. And the final result is an absolute masterpiece of retro jank.
Oh, my N-word, huh? What's up, homie, huh? Oh. Oh. Is that how you act, huh? When a friend makes a mistake, huh?
No,
really?
Man.
Oh,
no.
what? Oh, so what? It's just me getting hurt? Is that funny?
No,
huh?
man.
Well, fuck you! I'm gonna put you in the fucking ground. You laugh at me again.
Well, with that, the only thing left was to test it on the real hardware.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee-yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with, nigga.
What?
Oh, my N-word, huh? What's up, homie, huh? Oh. Oh. What is that how you act, huh? When a friend makes a mistake, huh?
No,
Really?
man.
Oh,
No.
oh, so what, it's just me getting hurt? Is that funny?
No,
Huh?
man.
Well, fuck you! I'm gonna put you in the fucking ground, you laugh at me again.
Building this was a massive undertaking, and a lot of it is boring stuff that I wouldn't be able to present in an entertaining way for the video. The PS1 fought me every step of the way, but seeing at least a bit of GTA 5 actually running natively made all the pain worth it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing as it really helps the channel. Leave a comment below suggesting what you want to see me do next, and I'll see you in the next one.